Welcome friends, in this video let's discuss about sedimentary cycle. This sedimentary cycle is a part of biogeochemical cycle. In our previous videos we have discussed about gaseous cycle like oxygen, carbon, hydrogen. Okay, in this video let's discuss about sedimentary cycle. Okay, this include phosphorus and sulfur cycle. So the elements like phosphorus, calcium, magnesium and sulfur circulates by means of sedimentary cycle. Okay, they circulate by means of sedimentary cycle. Okay, and these elements does not cycle through the atmosphere. This is important. This does not cycle through the atmosphere but follows a basic pattern of flow through various means like weathering, erosion, sedimentation, mountain building, volcanic activity, and biological transport of excreta of marine birds. So through these means, these elements like phosphorus, calcium, magnesium, and sulfur circulate through the ecosystem. Okay, and the first thing is phosphorus cycle. So this phosphorus has an important role in aquatic ecosystem and water quality. Okay, if the phosphorus is present in more than the required proportion, if it is present in more quantity in the water body, for example in lake, it may lead to unstable situation and it acts as a pollutant. For example, if the water body has more phosphates, okay, and phosphorus, and this will lead to the growth of green plants and blue-green algae and other harmful algal blooms in the pond ecosystem because it acts as a nutrient. This will multiply the growth of these plant bodies in the ecosystem. So this will lead to a condition called eutrophication. Okay, eutrophication. This is an anomaly, and this eutrophication may be a threat to the pond ecosystem. This may altogether collapse the whole balance of the ecosystem itself. So the phosphorus, the healthy balance of phosphorus in the ecosystem is very much essential for balanced ecosystem approach. Okay, and the source of phosphorus in the environment is through mineral deposits. Okay, mineral in phosphate rocks. Okay, and this enters the cycle of erosion and mining activity. Okay, the phosphorus enters the cycle through erosion as well as mining activity. This is the one thing. And the storage, the source of phosphorus is the earth's crust, not the atmosphere. Please mind it. It is the earth's crust which is the source of phosphorus. Okay, on land it is found in the form of phosphates. Okay, phosphates, and these phosphate rocks undergoes weathering. Okay, weathering, that is weathering on the surface of the phosphate rocks lead to weathering away of the certain portion of the phosphate rocks, and this will be carried out through erosion. Okay, and these phosphates enters the river and streams. Okay, and again this is again transported to oceans. So by this way the phosphorus cycle will be initiated. So this picture will clear all your doubts. Here the plants and animals after the death undergoes decomposition. Okay, the detritus organisms called saprophytes decays the plant and animal source. The saprophytes here include fungi, bacteria and algae and all the microorganisms along with earthworms. So these decay the organic matter and they convert this into elemental forms and other organic carbon. Here one of the such product is the phosphorus also from this decayed organic carbon. So this will add phosphorus to the soil as well as the certain rock, okay, in the present in the soil. Okay, this is the one thing, the contribution of phosphorus to the ecosystem. Okay, phosphorus is also present in the phosphatic rocks. So the phosphorus present in the soil as well as phosphatic rocks will be eroded, okay, through by the way of runoff into the nearby water bodies. Okay, like a river, ocean, pond, whatever. Okay, and these water bodies again will carry the phosphorus to the final destination called oceans. Okay, oceans, in the ocean, but the phosphates in solution will be deposited deep under the rocks. Okay, oceanic rocks. So these oceanic rocks will be a repository for this phosphorus. Okay, and these oceanic rocks will be uplifted, okay, through a millions of years of time. It will be upliftment will be happening. Okay, we all know that there will be upliftment of land over a period of time. So this upliftment and mountain building activities brings the rock so phosphorus that is deposited under the oceanic rocks. Okay, and this upliftment will also lead to weathering, and weathering also after that erosion. After that erosion, this will carry its runoff again to the water bodies. So in this way, the phosphorus cycle will be continuing. But the human interference, okay, human beings produce phosphorus by way of industrialization, by the production of fertilizers, okay, and these fertilizers are used in the agricultural operations, okay, for growing plants, okay, whereas phosphorus fertilizers like monoammonium phosphate, DAP, important source of phosphorus, okay, diammonium phosphate, triammonium phosphate, single superphosphate, these are all the important fertilizers used in the agriculture operations. Okay, these add more phosphorus to the ecosystem. So this will be runoff from the agricultural lands by way of soil erosion and water erosion. This enters the water bodies, okay, land, okay, for example lake and other ponds. So this in the lake and ponds, it leads to the condition called eutrophication that I have discussed with you already. So this is the harmful effect of interfering in the phosphorus cycle, okay, by the human beings. The another important cycle is sulfur cycle. So this is also one of the sedimentary cycle, okay, and the reservoir for this sulfur cycle, as like in phosphorus cycle, is also the soil and sediments, where it is locked in organic, okay, in organic sources like coal, oil and peat. Okay, these are the organic sources for the sulfur, and inorganic deposits like pyrite rocks and sulfur rocks, okay, in the form of sulfates, sulfides and organic sulfur. So both organic and inorganic sources are there for the elemental sulfur, okay, and this is released by, just like in phosphorus cycle, by weathering of rocks, erosion, runoff and decomposition of organic matter, and carried to the terrestrial and aquatic ecosystem. Okay, terrestrial means forest and grassland ecosystem, and aquatic ecosystem is ocean, river and other lake ecosystem, in the form of salt solution. Salt solution means it is dissolved in water. Okay, so the sulfur salt is dissolved in water, it is transported in the form of salt solution. So the most important characteristic of sulfur cycle here is that it is acting both as a sedimentary cycle as well as gaseous cycle. Okay, the hydrogen components like hydrogen sulfide H2S and sulfur dioxide SO2 also interacts with the atmosphere along with the sedimentary cycle. So this is important point. The sulfur cycle acts as both sedimentary cycle and gaseous cycle. Okay, please remember. And the sources of sulfur include the volcanic eruptions. Okay, volcanic eruptions also contribute sulfur to the atmosphere, and combustion of fossil fuels. Okay, from the surface. Also, it also released from the surface of the oceans, and gases released by way of decomposition. So this diagram will clear your doubts. These volcanic eruptions will release hydrogen sulfide, sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere, and the sea sprays from the sea will also contribute sulfur dioxide to the atmosphere, and the living organisms present in the ocean also contribute reduced compounds of sulfur by way of biogenic emissions. Okay, and again the sulfur dioxide present in the atmosphere is returned back to the earth by way of rain and other deposition. Okay, acid rains is one of them, and it is again reached into the oceans. And also the coastal biogenic emissions is also contributes reduced sulfur compounds into the atmosphere, and sulfur dioxide is also come back to the earth, that is soil surface, in the form of dry deposition. And other sources of sulfur include the industries, okay, industries, and the biogenic emissions, fossil fuel emissions, and all these contribute sulfur to the ecosystem. Along with that, the sedimentary source of sulfur is also there, and this upliftment of land and weathering, erosion, runoff is also happening here. Okay, this is sulfur cycle. So human beings are also interfering in the sulfur cycle, okay, by way of burning of coal, natural gas and other fossil fuels. Okay, this has greatly increased the amount of sulfur in the atmosphere, so it is and depleted sedimentary rock sink. Okay, without human impact, okay, human sulfur would have stayed tied up in the rock for millions of years. If we have not excavated the sulfur from the sulfur rocks, it would have been locked in the sulfur sources for millions of years. So until it was uplifted through tectonic events and then released to the erosion and weathering process. But human beings are interfering here, and he is extracting the sulfur for its own needs. So this is an important interference by human beings into the sulfur cycle. So this has increased the concentration of sulfur in the ecosystem by 30-fold, okay, by way of sulfur deposition. So this is also leading to the other deleterious effect like acid rains and atmospheric pollutants like sulfur dioxide, etc. So thanks for watching. And here for the previous videos on environment and ecology, click here. You'll get this. Thanks, thanks for giving me this opportunity.